So it's a sincere pleasure of mine to be speaking with you today about this topic of millennials, because it's in the forefront of everyone's thinking nowadays. Everyone in the business world is starting to wonder, how do we deal with this new generation that's coming down the pipe? And if there's one thing that I hope that you take away from today, it's to think fast, think mobile, and think creatively. You know, it's all the rage now to talk about how do we engage these millennials. So in order to attract and retain and ensure that your employees are happy, that's kind of where you start. You provide them with the tools and allow them to be creative and efficient and listen and adapt to how they want to be managed, instead of deciding this is how you're going to be managed and you just need to deal with it. So you can either spend all your time trying to figure out how to engage millennials, or you can sort of set things up so that they can do the engaging themselves. And with millennials, a lot of that came down to specific characteristics that were common only to that generation, and you really started to see that there were significant differences between one group and another. And with the millennials, it was very clear that they were going to be changing the face of business as we knew it. Millennials are the group that is driving the bottom line in the business world today, and by the year 2020 they will make up 50% of the workforce, and they will also drive 30% of retail sales. Now that's huge. So they're dominating, and as more baby boomers retire, they will come to the forefront even more. So there's a clear business case for companies to change their practices and to start focusing on attracting and retaining millennials. And that's why they've become so collaborative. That's why they need access to the higher ups unlike any generation before. It's because that's what they had with their parents. They've been used to being included in high-level decision making, and that's been translated into the workforce. And that's why they're natural networkers, and they use their technology, and they also want access to your business leaders. They want access to the strategic thinkers in your company because that's what they've been used to. The idea of the leader being in the middle of the company, in the middle of the structure, is really important, because millennials learn from talking to experts, and they talk to project people, or they talk to people on the internet, and they want access to everyone. They don't want to feel like there's that hierarchical structure. So make sure that you and your management team are all being accessible to your millennials. So leaders will start to shift from this sort of top-down hierarchical structure, where when you're up here, you have a lot less knowledge of what's going on down here in your company, right? So be genuine and support your employees. Know what makes your company unique and exceptional, and then start to build from that. Just because something works for Google or Uber doesn't mean it's going to work for your company. Smart companies know that they require a multitude of resources in order to effectively run their company. Leadership requires a variety of expertise, and they can't only place millennials on the front lines. They need a combination of generations working collaboratively to succeed. I'd like to challenge you to stop this sort of knee-jerk negative reaction that a lot of people have, and focusing on what are the differences between the groups, and start to focus on the greatness within each group. So force yourself to say, what amazes me about this other generation, and what can I learn from them, and how can I pull more out of it? That's when we'll really start to see progress. Companies need to harness the talent and perspectives of every generation, and we need all of them. We can't just say out with the old and in with the new, because that doesn't work. And the companies that are able to navigate those waters effectively, they're the ones that will end up on top.